Hey, unless you live under a rock, you probably noticed that Super Smash Bros. 4 is out. Rejoice, for we finally have a new installment after 6 long years. Unless you count Project M, which you probably should. Anyways, I figured to celebrate I would put together a few subtle ways to up your Smash game in the newest version. First few tips are pretty simple, so if you think you're the best Smash player since Masahiro Sakurai, click here to skip ahead to some more advanced tips. That said, these first few tips still assume that you know a little bit about the game. So if you don't know what a tilt is, you may want to Google that first, bro. Anyways, number 7. If you never really got into Brawl, you probably don't understand how big the removal of chain grabs is. In Brawl, it was pretty simple. All you gotta do is grab a foe at low percent and do a short throw and then grab them right after, rinse and repeat. This was a pretty large part of Brawl's metagame, but now the patron saints of chain grabs, the ice grabbers, have been removed from Smash 4, and with their loss the technique died off as well. Yeah, that's right, an opponent cannot be grabbed right after a throw in Smash 4, so you're gonna have to lose that muscle memory and be more creative with your combos in this new installment. More of a technique to forget than a new technique to learn, but it'll definitely be a big improvement for your smashing once you try something new. So go out there and make up a new flashy combo. Number 6. A warrior must master their weapon to be competent, and so too must a player learn how to use their controller. Sakurai has never been great with controls, making tilts difficult to do in Melee, making the main controller for Brawl less desirable than the old-fashioned GameCube, and committing full-on genocide against the risks of anyone willing to play the new Kid Icarus game. This is why some top Smash players recommend disabling up to jump with the game. This means that you'll get less input error when you try to do an up smash or a powerful up tilt. This can be especially important for a player trying to use characters with quality up tilts. For example, this control set could be the difference between a Mega Man landing the Mega Upper, an invulnerable uppercut, or the game interpreting the same input as a jump into a tornado projectile, which would probably whiff. Number 5. Here's a mechanic that a lot of Smash players either forget about or are completely unaware of despite being in almost every Smash game. It's a very quality technique that can render some strong moves like a Meteor Smash or other powerful spikes almost completely useless. Shielding right when your character hits a platform or part of a stage is called a tech, or a breakfall. This will cause them to immediately stand up even after being spiked straight into the dirt. Players who master this technique can pull off some pretty impressive recoveries that lead straight into a KO for the opponent. Hey, if you made it this far into the video, you either clicked the I'm good at Smash button, or actually care about what I'm saying. The next few techniques will be new to all players of Smash Bros. 4, because they're all either new or extremely changed in the new game. Starting off is the new mechanic that the community has decided to call Rage Mode. Rage Mode is initiated when the player's at a high percent and the character starts steaming with the lust for revenge. Lucario players from Brawl will recognize this as their aura technique. All characters now get more powerful knockback at higher percentages, but they don't do more damage. This gives them an actual incentive to play aggressively at high percentages, rather than using safe moves to slowly build up their enemy's percent. Not to mention, Lucario holds onto the mechanic from Brawl as well, giving him double rage powers, so watch out for pissed off jackals. Number 3. Here's a mechanic that returns from the older games while being greatly refined. I've split this one into 2 categories to clarify the difference. Hit stun shuffling, better known as SDI or direction influence, was a technique some players from Brawl were not a fan of. In Brawl, holding a direction perpendicular to the direction you flew off would decrease the overall distance you flew away from the stage, making it more likely that you would survive. The mechanic still survives in Smash 4, but should only be used in moves with multiple hits like Pikachu's down smash. This increases the chance that players will escape from the attack before the powerful last hit, and ensures their survival. All you have to do is hold the direction you want to go in while in the attack, and your character might be able to sneak out before the last hit. This technique works with all moves, but you may want to hear what I say for number 1 before you go holding directions in your matches. Number 2. Here's a mechanic I think most players will enjoy from a game design perspective, but will end up cursing because they keep forgetting about it. I also imagine that everyone has noticed it already. Ledge hogging is gone! Now you have to think harder about your ledge game and be more aggressive when your foe tries to recover. Don't worry though, Sakurai's got your back. New moves have been added to help you out. Villager's side smash has very little range when fighting an opponent on the ground, but when the opponent's trying to recover, the bowling ball can fall a tremendous distance. But watch out, the attack can be reflected. But does the opponent have time to reflect and then still recover? You'll have to use quick reactions to ensure the KO while still surviving. On paper, this mechanic sounds a lot more interesting than ledge hogging, but only time will tell what the community comes to think about it. Number 1! Back to the mechanic I teased during number 3. This mechanic is new to all Smash players. In fact, it's so new that most players do not have a name for it quite yet. It's another way to influence direction after being hit, but the mechanics are very different from the former versions of the AI in the Smash Bros. Game. In my opinion, this one makes more sense. At the time of me writing this, the mechanic has been termed vectoring because you add a vector to your direction, but that might change in the future. After being hit, your character has a predetermined flight plan, but you can influence this by holding direction on your circle pad. In this scenario I drafted up here, Mega Man is using the Mecha Upper on Mario. This point here is where Mario ends up when he doesn't touch the circle pad at all. Let's say the top of the screen is here. If Mario passes it, he loses the stop. Here Mario wants to stay low to the ground and avoid death, so he'll hold down on the circle pad. Pretty simple, right? Well, that's just the beginning. Let's say the top of the screen is all the way up here. Now Mario is in no danger of dying. Instead, he wants to escape from Mega Man. Maybe Mario will hold up to ensure he gets away from Mega Man so he can react later. Or, maybe he'll want to swerve to the left or right. Mario player can use his flight time to predict what the Mega Man player wants to do, and then react to that. This is what a metagame thrives on. Both players can make different choices based off what they think the opponent will do. In Brawl, this was very different and the DI did not support a combo-focused metagame, which is why some people were not fans. I think swerving in the direction you point with your circle pad makes more sense than holding a direction perpendicular to that, like it did in Brawl. Don't you? Hey, if you got any questions, answers, or whatever, you can just shoot me a comment or ask me something on my hidden block thread here. You can also check out some of my other videos down at the bottom of the screen, and I bet you can figure out what the giant subscribe button does. Thanks again for watching.